There's a new food item at Globe Life Field. In addition to the classic boomstick or dollar dog day, we now have the Evo Burger. We talk about it next on the DLLS Rangers podcast. Oh, Nathan Eovaldi is in the fold, and the Rangers have also added a couple of more today. We talk about all of that as we get you going now on the DLLS Rangers podcast. We're in the All Sports studios of the DLLS Sports team here, and it's John Radigan, Rads, with Abby Jones, Abs. We expect to be joined by Jeff Wilson a little bit later on in the program. He's been over just finishing up at the winter meetings. But, Abs, I did the burger joke today. I'm not going to do those every day, right? I promise.
Are you sure?
I'm not. I know it's just such low-hanging fruit. I had to go there once, the Evo Burger. We've seen it on social media, a million different things. What a great guy for a Whataburger town. Heck, there's a Whataburger in Globe Life Field, so maybe Whataburger will now have the Jake Burger.
They captioned or quote tweeted the Rangers tweet.
Did they?
What a Jake Burger.
Yeah.
So I think there's probably a potential deal.
I think we got some marketing opportunities.
When he was in Miami, they did a Jake Burger deal day.
At the ballpark?
At the ballpark.
Did they?
You could get a Jake Burger.
Yeah.
For like $25. But still, it was, when I was, okay, look, I'm going to be honest. I still watch SpongeBob to this day. And it was kind of like, he kind of created his own Krabby Patty version. And it was, you could get
I see.
Like
so it
onions, like a lot of stuff on the burger.
Okay,
so.
That's fun. Yeah. I think that's a great theme song, that SpongeBob one.
But also,
about all I ever watched. The kids had it on. I thought that's a funny.
You watched it too.
I didn't. I really didn't watch it much, but I thought that was a, funny and creative theme song.
Yeah, and in my day, and probably Elijah's too, there was a show called Good Burger. Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. How may I help you?
Oh,
yeah, that's immediately what I think of.
Okay,
too,
well,
so.
Anyway, Nathan Eovaldi is the big news. We had a full hour, and I know a lot of you were with us, and the Prophets over there, contributing the Good Burger stuff. But he was Herculean last night, getting us on the air for the emergency pod. It was super fun for us to do that, and the most fun was that you were there hanging out with us, and you're realizing we are the place to be when things happen, when news breaks. We do these emergency podcasts, all of us. The Stars, I know, have done one. The Cowboys have done one. I'm not sure, have the Mavs done one yet? I'm not sure, but they will if they haven't. So, and we now have. So really cool. Keep the chat going. We want to hear from you. We want to talk to you. We want to interact with you. We're here to make being a fan more fun. And it's really, really been fun at the winter meetings, especially yesterday and today, as the Rangers get active and get busy. And signing Nathan Eovaldi, 3 years, $75 million. That's what they had to do, right? They had to, quote unquote, blow him away, right? He figured he's going to get 22 or 23 based on what the market has been saying. And the Rangers said, you're not getting 22 or 23, and you're not getting it for 2. You're getting 25 for 3. Now, we don't know. We haven't had a good look at it yet, but we're hearing for the first year, it's $18 million.
Oh, okay.
Which is great. That probably just means it's backloaded, but there could be some deferred money. And if there is, fantastic for them and still fantastic for him. But even if it's just backloaded, this is the year they're having a little concern about staying under that luxury tax threshold. So if you can have, your guy take basically $7 million less this year. That helps you then say, okay, well, now that's a couple of relievers, right? Or more, right? So,
and that speaks to the kind of guy that Nathan Eovaldi is.
Yeah.
He wants to win.
Yeah.
You know, and in the end, like, it's all going in his pocket. But, hey, if I can, space this out a little bit and give the team the opportunity to have more of a pool to play in, Nathan Eovaldi is that guy because he doesn't want to be somewhere that he doesn't have a chance of winning.
Right.
So if doing this for his salary increases those chances, any competitor is going to take those options.
Yeah, we've seen the Cowboys because they've had to play salary cap, gymnastics for years and years, and we've seen any good Cowboy who's had a huge contract restructure. Oh, well, back in the day, we'll restructure Aikman's contract. Oh, well, we'll restructure, Emmett's contract. They'll just keep restructuring them. DeMarcus Ware will restructure his contract just to make sure that they have the money available in today's dollars to get things done. In their case, they have to stay under a cap. In the Rangers' case, they don't have to, but they'd still like to. And there's a site out there that figures these things out, and it says that right now it's called Resource. What's it called? Cap Resource, I think. And right now they're at $220 million, and the luxury tax threshold is going to be $241. So they've got about $21 million to play with. They're not done yet, but that number factors in the other two guys that they have gotten today.
Yeah.
And that is the first one, the Evo Burger joke, Jake Burger, the slugger from Miami.
Power
this is
guy.
A third base, first base guy, played first base there, who is just he can hit the fastball and he can hit it hard.
Yeah. Do we have the details of that trade? There you go.
Yeah, and so this is the great part of it, is the fact that the Rangers did not have to give up anybody who has played on a major league field. Now, in fact, Vargas and Mendoza, neither one were even on the 40-man. Max Acosta was one of the guys they protected for the Rule 5 draft. So this is a guy that's the best prospect on that list. But again, he's a double-A guy, and he's great. He's a shortstop. He's a middle infielder. He's got a bright future. But as we said, even when we were contemplating, do you protect him? Where's a shortstop going to play here ever? Not ever, but 7 more years, right?
If we could have it forever, I think we would.
Yeah,
but
we sure
would. It would be a while, and that's why the Rule 5 exists.
Yeah.
To keep guys not in minor leagues their entire career when you're behind, a future Hall of Famer. Because the chances of you getting that spot are slim to none. So it just kind of recycles the game of baseball a bit and, gives those guys options. Because I do know a guy, one of my buddies from college is the backup to Pat Mahomes, and he makes a pretty penny to do that. But he's forever going to be the backup to Pat Mahomes.
Sure.
And he'll play maybe like 4 total quarters of a football game.
Yeah, in a year. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a smart thing here, but to Rad's point, you don't have to give up much for Jake Burger.
No. And what it does, we've talked a lot about the option of, or the possibility of, trading, our buddy Nathaniel Lowe, and it's not something we've ever done lightly or really wanted to see happen, but this certainly opens up that door even more so because Nathaniel Lowe, look, he does everything right as a teammate, everything right as a first baseman. He basically, worked so hard when he was considered a defensive liability that a year or two later, he's winning a Gold Glove. He's a Silver Slugger winner. He can, make contact, but he doesn't have that power. It's just, it's there. It's just eluded him in the game situations, right? We watch him in batting practice. He has the power. He just hasn't been able to unlock it when it gets into game situations. And that position, the first base position, is a power position. And Abs, you found some great numbers that indicate the Rangers, if they decided, and they haven't, but if they decided to use Jake Burger as their first baseman going forward, he has that element, that tool.
you're looking for the bang.
Yeah, exactly.
He has it. Let's take a look at the numbers because, we were kind of joking. How are we going to tell the difference, without a name at the top of Jake Berger and Nathaniel Lowe on a piece of paper?
Yeah.
I can tell you the easy way, Rads.
Okay.
Jake Berger's all the red hot.
Wow.
Nathaniel Lowe's the icy blue
gold. Yeah.
And I will say these,
the power numbers we're talking about are there, slugging, average exit velocity, those numbers where Berger's all in the 80s there.
Yeah. Well above MLB average, and Nathaniel Lowe is below it. I mean, that's just a simple way to put it. But this is comparing them just offensively.
Yeah. That's right.
Defensively, I will say Nathaniel Lowe takes the cake on that side, and that is one thing that the Rangers do love about Nathaniel Lowe is what he brings defensively to this team. So, the Rangers have a decision to make. I mean, can you have both? Can you have Jake Berger as the DH and Nathaniel Lowe first base? That's probably ideally, if everyone could have their cake and eat it too, that would make the most sense. But there is also the option that you could get a lot for Nathaniel Lowe. That's
the thing. You could get something in a trade for Nathaniel Lowe, and you would free up more money that Nathaniel Lowe makes. That, look, Jake Berger's in his second year. He's pre-arbitration. So he's a bargain, right? They've got 4 years of control left on Jake Berger. I can't imagine, honestly. I said this to Jeff. I think I said it to you earlier, Abs. I don't know why Miami's trading him, but it's great for the Rangers that they have. And so, the reason to trade Nathaniel, if this were the case, would be free up some money, and you've got a first baseman here. That said, when asked about it today, Boach said, I don't know about that. I don't know how we're going to use Jake yet, but I don't know that we're going to trade Nathaniel Lowe, right?
What if you remember who came from the Marlins?
There you
Rangers.
go.
So
there you go. Skip Schumacher is now in the front office, and he's working daily with CY and Boach.
Maybe he knows something about the Marlins. Maybe he knows something about Jake Berger that we don't.
Sure.
I mean, that's the important thing. Like, winter meetings was so incredible for me to see how much the relationships matter, because baseball is such a big world, but at the same time, it's so small. And, we learned about Bruce Bochy that he's been on multiple trips with Skip. And, they always go to Jackson Hole once a year and have like a manager hoedown, throwdown, and do whatever. And so you build those relationships, and, you don't want to say, hey, we're looking for XYZ on the field. But if you know a guy that knows a guy, then you can kind of softly.
You basically vouch for him.
Right.
And is what you do. It's like I watched him every day. And Boach, if I'm Boach and I trust Skip Schumacher's eye, right, his eyeball, if this guy passes your eyeball test,
then he passes fine by me. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the game of baseball. It's about the relationships. And I do think this Jake Berger trade is direct correlation to Skip.
Yep, I agree with that. I don't think, they're usually you just keep tracing it back, and you're going to find a reason, and you're going to find a place and how somebody got here. And Skip Schumacher certainly had something to do with Berger being here. It doesn't mean, as we said, that Nathaniel Lowe would be traded. It does, though, offer the Rangers that opportunity to move Nathaniel Lowe. It also would offer the opportunity to move either Josh Smith or to move Ezekiel Duran. That would be especially if you're going to use Berger exclusively as a designated hitter. So lots of options there. They also signed today a guy who the Orioles non-tendered, and it was a surprise in Baltimore when Jacob Webb was non-tendered. And the Rangers were the beneficiaries of that, too, as they signed him. He was estimated, before they had to protect him or tender him, I should say, he was estimated to be in the $1.7 million range. And so this is a relief pitcher who the Rangers get, and they'll probably pay roughly that amount. They don't have to give up anything for him because he was non-tendered.
Again, it's, making the most out of nothing. And one man's trash, another man's treasure, whatever phrase you want to say. The Rangers got a good deal here, and this is another one of those low risk, high reward situation if it works out. Webb, was with the Orioles last season, a 3 ERA, a low 3, and 56 innings pitched. So, it's maybe not the length of others in the bullpen, but it is an option. And you know that when he's going to go in, you can use him for one or two. You can multiple roles, setup guy, swing man. Rangers still have some things to figure out. Closer into the deal, but it's another addition. And if you take a look at the Rangers, they have so much depth right now, and that's what you need in a baseball
although
season.
they still need it in the bullpen.
Yes.
This was just step one. They could probably still use 2 relievers in the bullpen, but they've been very active, and that's very encouraging. It sends so many messages, not the least of which is we got money, right? We got enough money, as CY told Jeff and a few others on Monday, we got enough money to operate as usual in a offseason, and that is exactly what we're seeing, and that's great. It's really good to see because the Rangers are loading up and trying to get back to where they were in 23 in 2025. Now, coming up next, we are going to sit down with Bruce Bochy, and we actually did that yesterday, so it's going to be dated somewhat, but it's going to be fun because it's not just all baseball. We talked to Boch on a variety of topics next on the DLLS Rangers podcast. But first I remind you what a great thing Game Time is. I have been utilizing it. I've now purchased 2 sets of tickets off of Game Time, and it's just fantastic because I actually forgot to use my code on the first purchase. So on the second one, I got my $10 off. So I was $20 off. So I was really happy about that. But you see what you can see right there. There's the seats. You can pick them. You can decide how you want to use them. And we've done them not just for sporting events. In fact, neither of the events that we have purchased tickets for are for sporting events. So they have all kinds of different events available to you. I can't emphasize enough how easy it is to use. And like I have said a few times on the show, it's become like a reminder for me. Oh, I didn't even know they were coming to town, right?
Yeah.
Because they send you notes and updates and things and say, hey, don't forget about this.
You're interested
in WrestleMania's coming, whatever it might be, and I'm now availing myself to some of those tickets. So
you're telling me there's a date night with Miss Kathy in the
There definitely is for the Dear Evan Hansen, the musical on I think it's December 19th. And so we're going to go and watch a Broadway show over at the Windspear thanks to Game Time. And you should do it too. Go to gametime.com, use the code DLLS, and you get $20 off your first purchase.
You forgot my favorite part.
What time is it, Abs?
Game time.
Thank you very much.
Next up, Shady Rays.
Yeah.
Shady Rays. Quality sunglasses built to last. You can lose them in your car for weeks on end and no scratches. Shady Rays, they are fashionable. I have a trendy little pair, call them the Bryce Harper shades. They look slick. I like to work out in them, run on the Katy Trail. But they're affordable, so if you lose them, it's like $30 for a pair. Nice. Maybe the ones I got a little more because a little flash to them. But they're affordable. They have so many options, and they have over 300,000 rated 5 stars.
Wow.
So, the qualities and the product's going to speak for itself. Go to shadyrays.com. Use code DLLS. 35% off. Very generous.
It is indeed. And it was fun. It's been fun every day at the winter meetings. Yesterday, we had a lot of fun, Abs.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
The first day was a lot to. Oh, there's Jeff Wilson.
Look who joined us. Hey.
Hello, Jeff. How are you guys? Did you ever warm up?
Nope.
Okay.
God, no. That media room was so cold.
I came prepared. I was in a jacket all day.
I mean, I wore 4 layers all day and was cold.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
You know what they say, Jeff? Cold hands, warm heart.
Well, I've got it all. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we got the chance to talk to none other than the Rangers skipper, Bruce Bochy. We sat down with him, talked a little bit about, what the Rangers are going to do. I will say this was Tuesday, ahead of the Nathan Eovaldi signing. So, of course, Boch wasn't going to, spill all the information, but he hinted nicely to it. So take a listen to what Bruce Bochy had to say.
Hey, welcome back into the DLLS Rangers podcast, and look who we found, Bruce Bochy. Boch, great to see you. And the offseason is, somewhat uneventful to this point, except that quite a few changes made to your coaching staff. What are your thoughts initially about that?
Yeah, well, I'll start with Will Venable. I'm going to miss him. I mean, we became very close. I really enjoyed my time with him. Had a couple nice years, and Will did a lot for me, and I'm very, very appreciative. It was his time, so I'm happy for him. That's always a bittersweet thing. And he'll do a great job with the White Sox, so I think they just made a terrific choice and bring him up there. And so anyway, we did make some changes. Jordan Teagues will be going to the bullpen. He's been in the organization, as a pitching rover, coordinator, all those things. And he's familiar with these young players, and we just think there's going to be a great connection there with him down there. And Brett Hayes will kind of be our quality control man that will overlook everything, make sure we're getting the stuff done that we need to get done. And then we got Luis Urieta. I'll mess his name up. I call him Pipe. Thanks for that nickname, Pipe, but he's here.
Pipe is here?
Yeah, he's here. And, in fact, the staff's coming in tomorrow night, and we're meeting on Thursday, so we'll all get together. So, no, excited about our changes. And Pipe's, he's great. He's awesome. He's got experience doing it. He did it for Arizona. He did it down in Miami. So, he's going to provide a lot of help for me.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I want to talk about one addition that we've seen so far in the offseason, and that's Kyle Higashioka. We talked about the offensive and defensive struggles of Jonah Heim last year. You've emphasized the importance of the catcher role and that extended postseason. With Jonah having a healthy offseason, what are you expecting for Kyle to add to this roster, not only in the lineup, but as another option as a catcher?
Yeah. Well, I think you look at Higgy's experience and being with the Yankees, and of course the success he had last year with San Diego. In fact, he was catching so well, he was doing all the work in the postseason and had a great postseason. He's a great handler of pitchers. He just brings so much confidence to them. Great framer, and so. They're going to complement each other very well. It's going to lighten the load on Jonah, try to rest him a little bit more, and keep them both going. I think they're going to make each other better. And Higgy's got some power, too. He can pop one. He's hit 17, 18, hit some in the postseason. So we felt that was a need for us, and so I was really, really excited that we got him done.
Yeah, huge addition.
So Chris Young keeps talking about, and you've said it too, the players that you have on the team need to be better. And I think one good sign is that Leody Taveras didn't go back to the Dominican. He stayed here locally to work with the hitting coaches. How do you love Leody's ability? How could this offseason really help him improve?
I think Leo. And I'll throw Dolly in there. And I'll throw Jonah in there, and not that they didn't work, but when you win a world championship, man, it makes for a long season. You're playing to November, and now that unfortunately we didn't get to the postseason, the silver lining is these guys are getting a chance to have an off season where they can work out and probably recover a little bit quicker and be fresher and we had our exit meetings and things we want them to work on. And so the commitment that Leody has made to do these things, that's what you want to see. I look at this guy, you've heard me say it. I think, he still hasn't hit his ceiling. It's so high with the tools that he has. He can run, he can throw, he can switch hitter. He's got to make some improvement from the right side or even the left side. And so that's what he's working on. But you got to love the talent and the makeup. He's a great teammate, and so it is a great sign that he stayed here. He's made a commitment. I know he's been helping out in the community. He's such a great guy, great teammate, and you never know when it's going to be a breakout year for him.
All right.
So you've seen almost everything in the game, and I'm sure there's no way to just say to a guy, here's what you do to get out of this slump or this malaise, as it were, with Adoli, like for almost the whole season, right? You can't just say, yep, be better, do this one thing, right? Does maybe the shifting of Donnie Eckert back to a little more hitting and the new hitting coach to replace Tim Hyer, is all that designed to, are there things that they bring that will help alleviate some of that?
Yeah, I think so. I think anytime you make a change, you're going to get some new ideas, fresh ideas maybe, or something that may click. I'm going to miss, and I feel bad I didn't mention Timmy Hyers going to Atlanta because Timmy and I were close. We go back to San Diego days, and he's another one I'm going to miss, and he'll do a terrific job there with the Braves. He lives there, so I think, in our conversations, he said, this is the only place I would have gone. He's close to his family, so I'm happy for him. But getting back to your point, I think the experience that Justin and Donnie have had working together, the success they had, I think getting them reunited, sure, they could do something to spark all these guys that try to bounce back from a down year.
Sure.
So you guys, sorry, Abby, you guys. Go ahead.
Sorry.
You go.
I know you're a big fan of Josh Smith, and just to see him have the season that he did, winning the Silver Slugger at the utility position, what are you just excited about for his game in 2025 and the importance of finding that roster spot for him in the lineup and on the field?
Yeah, Abby, that's going to be a challenge for me because I want to get him in there as much as I can. And, and again, bringing up the silver lining is he's going to allow us to rest some guys a bit more, and I got to, I think, do a little better job. I have a couple of guys. I've talked to Marcus about it. Hey, it might benefit him to get some more rest because he's not going to take a day. He's not going to ask for a day. It's who he is, and you appreciate that as a manager. But sometimes I felt like I probably let him down. He did. I mean, he's not going to feel like that, but to take care of them because I care about these guys, and so when you have a guy like Josh Smith, it's invaluable in the fact that he can play anywhere in the infield. I'm not going to rule out catching because we made him our third catcher. He didn't know it, but he can play center field, first base. So I'll have to be creative to make sure I get him his at bats. He's earned that.
A lot of people who don't recognize what Nathan Eovaldi meant to you guys as a leader, they think leadership is easy to replace. Not Nathan Eovaldi's leadership. And as you guys hope to re-sign him, just what does he do for the rest of the pitchers as a guy, as a teammate?
Yeah. Well, as they say, I mean, a great player, and I consider him a great player.
Sure.
We've seen what he's done in the postseason. They make their teammates better, and that's what he does. It starts in spring training. You guys have seen when they're throwing bullpens, he's there, he cares about them, he's watching them. He's talking to them. He's like another set of eyes and ears for Mike Maddox, to throw out suggestions. And, there's different ways to lead, both what he's doing vocally, but by example, and how he goes about his business, his work ethic, and how hard he prepares. It's really impressive. So, that's contagious too. And that's, you're right. That part is sometimes difficult to find. But I can't thank the guy enough, and obviously we want to get him signed, get him done. He's got some, he'll have some choices, but we certainly hope we're right there as far as his decision making.
And then in the bullpen, you guys need a lot of help. Is John Gray a possibility? If things don't go right, would you consider John Gray as a closer?
Well, right now we need him in a rotation. I think if you look at this rotation, I need to take care of some of these starters. Their workload. He's one of the guys that can provide that, along with Bradford. But do you rule it out? No, because I don't know where we're going to be when we get to spring training. I don't know what's going to happen here. So, but ideally, we'd like to have him in the rotation. But we know that's a great option if somehow things worked out and we had enough starters where he could go to the bullpen.
I saw that you reloaded on Buffalo Trace. You sent me a little video of you going to the factory. My wife got me a bottle for my birthday and then promptly drank more of it than I did. So give me your top 3 bourbons of all time.
Top 3? Oh, geez. Well, I just went in with a couple of friends of mine. We got a barrel of Weller Antique 107. That's one of mine. And I like straight just Buffalo Trace. And probably I'd say, I mean, I like a regular nice bourbon, Woodford, a Woodford Double Oak. I will say I like trying different things, like wine. I get asked my favorite wine. I like trying, varietals. I same with bourbon. I like trying them all, and it's a lot of fun to do a tasting.
Have you tried the Buffalo Trace seasoning for like steaks?
Ooh. Oh, I've had it all. Yeah,
that's good.
And,
that's good.
And the Manhattan's already made, and all.
You're good to go. Does Pop-Up do anything for Christmas with the grandkids? Are you dress up as Santa or anything like that?
Gingerbread house, maybe.
Now I have fun with being Captain America. I have a costume, but I don't have a Santa outfit, so I need to get one. Now I am actually heading to San Diego for Christmas, so that crew won't see me that come out to Texas all the time. The ones that you see, I'll be with my other son and my granddaughter there, and but yeah, I'll do whatever they want, and but it's such a special time when you have family time, and it's time to spend some time with Blakely, my other granddaughter.
I think you should dress up, and they'd be like, "Oh man, Santa walks just like Pop-Pop."
I love that thought. I used to be Santa. I used to have a Santa outfit. Way back when I first started managing, when we go to the, do the hospital visits and everything, I was Santa.
Nice.
And I don't know what happened to that Santa outfit.
It seems like you'd be a great Santa, and you're a great interview. We love sitting and chatting with you, Boach, and we look forward to spring training in the season. Thanks for doing this.
Well, thanks. Thanks for having me on. It's good to see y'all. Good to see y'all. It's just around the corner. See you soon.
It is.
Oh, Boach as Santa. What a great thing that is. Great thought that is. And if you missed any part of that, it's uploaded. It's available on our channel. So make sure you go check that out. More coming as we get the update from Jeff about what CY said at the end of the meetings next on the DLLS Rangers podcast.
However, my first act today will be to sell carpet and flooring from Empire Today, our friends there. Trusted name in flooring and carpets around this area. You've been around it for any time you've heard of Empire Today. And if you use the code DLLS, EmpireToday.com/DLLS, you get $350 off. At-home convenience. That's the big thing with Empire Today. You really don't have to leave the house. You can check out their virtual floor designer. Hold it up in any room, and you're going to see what that's going to look. The carpet or hardwood's going to look like in your room. They'll come to your house. They service their own warranties, but as I always say, because Empire Today is so good, you're not going to need to use the warranties. So here's what you have to do: schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use the promo code DLLS. Restrictions apply. See EmpireToday.com/DLLS for details.
No doubt, on a beautiful day like today, it's time to plan your next outdoor adventure, of which any of them would be great today. It's like sunny and about 60. It's really a fantastic day. And if you do plan that outdoor adventure, know that you need a Rugged Road cooler. These Rugged Road coolers are so cold and stay so cold. They are colder than the media room, Jeff. At the Anatole.
God.
If you can imagine. If you can imagine. They're cold. It was really cold in there. But anyway, these keep stuff cold for 7 days. Thank God we weren't in that media room for 7 days. But these keep things cold for 7 days. They've got compartments inside. It's a really good cooler. Sturdy, lightweight. It even floats. So we can't encourage you enough to get yourself a Rugged Road cooler for all of your outdoor adventures. You go to ruggedroad.com and use the code DLLS. You get 10% off your next Rugged Road cooler. All right, Jeff, let's get to this. You were late for the show,
I was.
Understandably, for the last option to chat with Chris Young, the POBO, President of Baseball Operations.
Correct.
There you go.
Bobo. And so what do you find out?
Well, yeah, he was late. They were meeting. It's pretty funny when the winter meetings are somewhere else. Everybody wants to get on a flight to get home. But when it's a home game, there's really no urgency to leave. There was urgency with the media. I wanted to get back here for the top of the show, but you guys handled it with amazing aplomb, and so all's well there. But Chris Young seemed pretty tired, but pretty relaxed. I think he knows that they had a good winter meetings. Kind of the highlights that I took away from it was that they're really not going after any starting pitching now. Outside of Roki Sasaki, yes, they're gonna try for Sasaki. I think they feel very good about their chances to at least make a very favorable impression with him. But the Nathan Eovaldi thing kind of shored up their rotation. Yes, they swung for the fences and tried to get Max Fried, but I think that was just a unique one-off situation where if it happened, it happened. It didn't happen. They came up a year short in with the Yankees, and but anyway, so he's really happy with the rotation. John Gray is not going to be in the bullpen, something that I've kind of thought was a possibility. And now with this Jacob Webb signing, a right-hander who John, you had said was non-tendered by the Orioles, he signed for $1.25 million. It's a guy who threw 56 innings last year. He's going to be a guy who is going to give the Rangers some good innings. And he wanted to be with the Rangers. So that's why the price is so low. I mean, this is a guy that should have gotten more than that, but he wanted to be at the Rangers. So by taking less money, that's going to allow the Rangers to I'm making this part up. I'm deduction.
Connecting dots here. Yeah.
That's going to allow the Rangers to maybe spend a little more on the bullpen.
Right.
And I think, that puts a closer and a high-end leverage guy in play, whether it be Kirby Yates returning, whether it be Tanner Scott, who they've been tied to, Carlos Estevez, who I think is a hell of a pitcher. And there are other closers out there, Kenley Jansen, who's 100 years old but still gets the job done. I bounced this off of some guys last night. Would a 2-year deal get Kirby Yates done? Because they're thinking, 1-year deal, he's 38. MLB trade rumors projected $1 and $14 million. Okay, what if you give Kirby Yates $2 and $21?
Sure.
Yeah, that's more money.
A lot more.
So I really think that might be an avenue they take. But so those are my main takeaways. And then the Jake Berger acquisition. He hits fastballs. He hits right-handers. Two things that the Rangers offense didn't do last year. You can't just flat out ask at these little powwows, are you going to do this? Are you going to trade Nathaniel Lowe? Yeah. And we worked our way around it. And Chris Young said, we do have depth. We're happy with our depth, and it's up to us to put the best team on the field. So that could mean that isn't his way of confirming that, yes, there's a potential that we trade from what we have. Now, that could be Lowe, that could be Josh Smith, that could be Ezekiel Duran. Lowe's the one who's going to make $10 million, and the one who really hasn't realized the potential that he had. He hasn't repeated that 22 season yet, and yes, he's motivated to do it. We heard that at the end of the season, and we've heard that at the end of the last couple seasons from him. And so, is it time to move on? Berger, gosh, he's going to make the league minimum this year. That's a ton of value. Now, he's not as good a defensive player. He doesn't get on base like Nathaniel Lowe. Nathaniel Lowe had a much higher WAR last year. Yeah. Kind of in different ways, with the defense and everything, but still the on base. Berger has him in the power, but the Rangers feel like they're better. And if they go to camp and they have Nathaniel Lowe and they have Josh Smith, well, it's up to the manager to put the best 9 hitters out there every night. Nate Lowe could get days off against tricky lefties. Josh Young could get some time off. It's not necessarily insurance against Josh Young, who has had terrible injury luck. They don't want to call him injury prone, because injury prone's like recurring hamstring issues or something like that. Josh Young's had these freakish, severe injuries, so they don't want to call him injury prone, but you can't also hide from it, So it's not insurance just for him. If they at one point didn't have Corey Seager on the field, and Josh Young and Nate Lowe. They were all out of the lineup early in the season.
Yeah.
And so, or not what they should have been, or coming off of an injury. So it's lineup depth for a number of injuries. So it was pretty productive for
really
us today.
productive.
Yeah, we got a lot to write.
Yeah, that's right. You got work to do yet. And let's take a look at the options that the Rangers now have at starting pitcher. And you see there is depth there. Jeff, we're talking about 8 different guys. And, once again, this is a really good problem to have. And especially when your 1-2 punch is Jacob deGrom and Nathan Eovaldi. We know what John Gray can do if he's healthy. Tyler Mahle, Cody Bradford was a bulldog all last year. And then 2 guys with tremendous upside in Rocker and Leiter. Dane Dunning, again, pitcher of the year in 2023 for the Rangers.
Yeah, just the way the bullpen is going to shake out or has to be structured, the Rangers need to have guys who can pitch multiple innings. And I think that is where Dane Dunning's headed. I just think that
sure.
just seems like a automatic fit. That does kind of get rid of your rotational depth. But if he's working multiple innings, if he's piggybacking behind, let's say, Rocker and getting 3 or 4 innings an outing, then that keeps him pretty stretched out to drop into the rotation.
And don't forget, he started 23 in that role.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's
then
absolutely
with
right.
injury, he got pressed into service.
He was piggybacking DeGrom, who didn't get built up in spring training, and then all of a sudden, Dane Dunning's in your rotation, and it turns out to be he had the most innings.
Yeah.
Was voted as the pitcher of the year by the media, the local media. I would guess that. Well, I don't want to guess. They may have a 6-man rotation, honestly, to start the season, or at times throughout the season they have a 6-man rotation. And Tyler Mahle I believe, has a 200-inning season in his on his ledger, but he made 3 starts last year.
Yeah, that's bad.
I still think they're going to have to be careful with him. Hopefully, Gray's foot situation is straightened out, and maybe he can get you 140, 150 innings. But he's going to end up on the injured list at some point, and really so is Eovaldi. It's just his track record. But you're looking at a lot of the guys who are 150-inning starters. Well, you're going to need Dane Dunning and maybe Cody Bradford out of the bullpen. I don't know. But you're going to need guys who can provide bullpen length. And then hopefully they don't get so shortened up that they can't drop in for a spot start. Because that's, you're kind of playing with fire if you put too many of your starters into the rotation.
I want to ask a question about Jake Berger. What do you think that this does for Evan Carter in the lineup?
Well, it could. There are opportunities there against a tough lefty, and Evan Davis does struggle against lefties. There's a way to make it so that Jake Berger could be the designated hitter that day, let's say. And so you've got Adolis and Garcia, and then maybe, I don't know, Duran, let's say, in left field. There are ways to do it. I still think the Rangers need to sign an outfielder. Maybe that's just me, and maybe that's what's coming. I just don't. I think they have. I think with Berger, if their intention is to not use the DH spot as a true DH spot and to continue to rotate guys in there for days off, I feel like they're a little heavy there and need to make a move. But so we'll see. It's a long off season. Winter meetings are over, but it's December 11th.
Yeah.
We got a long way to go, and really not a short time to get there. The darn spring training, darn signings go into March these days.
Sure.
And the bullpen, I think, is where you're going to see some late signings. Chris Young said, on March 27th, whatever opening day is, I don't recall, the bullpen may not be what it's going to be when the Rangers are in contention and going down the stretch. It's going to be a work in progress. You get the trade deadline in there.
Yeah.
You get guys who get waived or hit the waiver wire, things like that. So bullpen may take a little while to get where they want it, but it is their priority now. No questions about it. That is their priority.
Yeah, it was interesting to hear about their focus because we talked to guys yesterday, Jeff, who were telling us what the plan was, guys who had been in the room, and they were saying, we haven't even really looked at relievers yet because we got to get the starter thing done, right? And obviously they were able to multitask on a couple of different fronts to obviously get first Higashioka in here, and then secondly Berger. So there was some multitasking going, but the priority was Nathan Eovaldi. They got that done. We know what the next priority is now. It's that high leverage guy. They addressed the bullpen today. Now it's to get that high leverage guy, and that's fantastic. So lots more coming up as we continue to wrap this up. We've got a couple of batting cleanup type hits to do. We've got your chat to chat about with you, and a few more loose ends to tie up from the winter meetings that were here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It's the DLLS Rangers podcast. But let's talk about our merchandise. That's so much fun.
No merch today.
Nobody has merch today.
I do.
Oh, Jeff?
No, I don't. I take that back. No merch today.
I wish. Do we have white?
We don't have a white shirt.
I was going to say, I don't think there's a white.
So.
I got a great shirt. I came home from the winter meetings last night. I got home about 9:30 or 10 and had a package from ALLCITY.
Nice.
3 more shirts. One, I got the gray, the horseshoe, and then I got the Mavs flag shirt.
Yeah.
And then the Cowboys Navy flag.
That means your Black Friday stuff has arrived.
I guess so.
And mine hasn't. And I'm getting mad. But anyway.
You said you live out in the country.
Well, and
you live out in the boondocks.
I got confirmation from my wife that indeed there will be more shirts under the Christmas tree for me. One of which I already have, which we've discussed, but apparently there are a couple others underneath there that
you might not have
that I don't have.
Nice.
So
I feel like you're chipping into my salary at this point.
I'm gonna be approaching 20 items. When the hats come out, I'm gonna buy the hats, and then that's gonna be it.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to retire.
Well, until they start doing more. When they start doing like quarter zips, and they stay, because we keep encouraging them. You should add this. You should add this. We want a golf shirt. We want a polo shirt.
Yeah.
I'm
going to try to write these off.
We need a collab.
We do. We really do.
No, collab with Roback for sure.
With our friend.
Wouldn't that be nice?
It would be very nice.
Store.allcitynetwork.com to get your merchandise, and you're going to get merchandise if you become a what?
Die hard.
Die hard? Yeah, exactly.
Become a diehard, because winter meetings is kind of like Jeff's Disneyland.
It's not Disneyland. Disneyland's fun. It's more like my hell. Except it was so cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even think I could pick up.
I don't like the winter meetings. But
They're kind of boring.
I like our diehards, and so go.
My point was that you wrote a lot of great content.
I did. I got at least 2 more coming.
Be behind the paywall, but I'm done.
It's kind of like
you make a solid point.
It's kind of like our.
We have an angry elf.
It's our off season. It's our off season big event.
Call me angry elf one more time and see what happens to you. Yeah. No. It is.
Thank you.
It's a long, arduous process.
It was my Disneyland.
You had fun there.
I felt like a kid at Epcot. I was like, I'll take your business card. Thank you for chatting.
Yeah.
Loved meeting with you.
No, it's good. It's fun, but it's a heck of a lot more fun when the Rangers do what they've done. And that, I mean, that is the difference. I've been to a couple where the Rangers did nothing, and that's just
What'd you do?
brutal. I mean, you just run around and chase stories down, and that one of the years that they did nothing was the year that we had the audience and got to go up with cameras, and the beat writers got to as well, into the suite and sort of observe all the things that happened. Nolan was still there at that time, and he was kind of over in one suite, and then everybody that was doing the feverish work and JD and everybody were in the other one, and it was interesting to just see how the process worked, but.
Yeah, a lot goes on. They have multiple suites. They don't just have one.
Yeah.
They have multiple suites. Stash house over here, and the food room. I guess I don't know. They had broken up to meet with us. A medical guy came out, a bunch of scouts. So they were still burning the oil. It's not midnight, but they're kind of midnight of the winter meetings.
Officially ends at 5, Jeff, or do you know?
I don't know. I think really technically the winter meetings go into tomorrow, but everybody's leaving today. All the major events that the media needs to be there for are kaput.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go to the gym tomorrow and then come here and knock out another wonderful podcast.
Yeah. Fantastic.
I Love Misty says 1988 winter meetings was probably the best in Rangers history.
19 which?
88. Is that well?
TR probably has written a story
when
about
they got Nolan, right?
Yeah.
No, 89 they got no. Nolan was
88.
here for the 89. So yeah, so it's the 88, and I was predates me too here. But yeah, that has to. I get that, Misty. You know, that was you brought Nolan Ryan, a Texas legend here. We actually interviewed Reed Ryan when we were out there, and we're gonna at one point. It probably won't be this week. We're gonna get to that. Isn't it fun to talk to Reed? Abs is like, what are we gonna ask Reed? I said, watch this. You know, I mean, Reed is just he's a wonderful
He was so
guy.
fun. And
Hey Reed,
as soon as-
what color is the sky? Well, let me tell you.
Yeah.
As soon as he
Reed's great.
smiled too, I'm like,
Yeah,
your dad's Nolan.
yeah,
He does favor him
yeah.
a lot.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
He definitely does. He
Yeah.
definitely does. I tell you what, though, Reese kind of sounds
He does.
more like Nolan.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, you know, I did a story for TCU Magazine, one of my final acts there, talking about when Nolan was a coach at TCU.
Yeah,
It started
non-paid coach. Yeah,
Reed had transferred there, and so I
Yeah.
talked to both of those guys about it. And I haven't talked to Nolan about it. He called during a spring training game, so it was a bad time actually. But Nolan, when the caller ID says Nolan, you
Yeah, I
know,
know.
you kind of drop everything.
Yeah.
So
you do.
yeah,
You do. I have. Yeah. So very good. Yeah. And so a couple things to chat about here in the batting cleanup segment. First of all, the Garrett Crochet trade is done. So it's a Sox swap, right? The Red Sox get him from the White Sox for 4 really good prospects. I think all 4 are in the Red Sox top 15.
yeah, that's a big trade. You don't see a lot like that anymore.
Yeah.
And
It's a good move for
and
them.
somebody told me right now that the industry right now, I guess the Arizona GM Mike Hazen said that teams aren't really interested in acquiring prospects. They want major league help. Well, generally speaking, yes. I mean, the White Sox need all the help they can get, and these prospects that they got are, looking at these prospect rankings are very, very good. They have to go out and do it. It's like recruiting.
Sure,
5-star
absolutely.
recruits have to go out
Yep.
and do it and not get homesick and want to go home or whatever. But all signs indicate this is a pretty good deal for them. And I didn't realize that Crochet was so far into the arbitration process. I thought he was younger, but
Yeah.
he lost that year because of injury while on the 40-man. So that's a year of service time. And
Yeah.
anyway, so that's a good one for Boston. Obviously, their plan B to Max Fried,
Yes.
or maybe even Corbin Burns. Maybe they got Price out there, or maybe they still have a chance to sign Burns. I don't know, but that's a big trade. That's a big one. That's a good one.
And it's a good lefty. A lefty pitcher in that
Yeah.
ballpark. That's a guy you want. So good for them. And they made the trade it was a Sox swap back when they got Chris Sale, and that led to their World Series drought
Yeah.
ending after 80 whatever years. So.
Yeah, Yoan Moncada was part of that Sale trade, and that was another big one.
Yeah, it was huge. And so they're hoping history repeats itself there, no doubt about that. Interesting that there was a lot of chat around that Kyle Tucker has become fairly available by the Astros, who, again, they've known they can't sign all these guys. They've proven it. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to sign Bregman. They didn't sign Correa. You can't sign everybody, and it looks like Kyle Tucker may be a guy where they're willing to take, some prospects and stuff back in order to get something from him before they lose him to free agency.
That one started, midday yesterday.
Yeah.
And I feel like that one's been the one that chatter is really the highest about.
Yeah, well, the Yankees missed out on the right fielder.
They did.
They need a guy, but it's a similar situation because Tucker can be a free agent after this season.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So do the Yankees want to go down that path again? Because he's going to go into free agency.
Yeah.
No, he's not going to be $765
No, it probably won't
million.
be 765.
But it's going to be a pretty
gonna
big
sign him.
number.
Yeah.
Decent
And
amount.
if the Rangers are going to, God damn it, if the Yankees are going to trade away what they would have to trade away to get him, then they're going to want to make every effort to re-sign him, like Soto. So that is an interesting one. I would try to keep Kyle Tucker. I think he's a heck of a player.
I do too.
good defensively, great hitter. Left field in that rinky-dink ballpark, or right field in that rinky-dink ballpark is pretty easy to get the ball over that 2-foot wall.
Cuts in,
it's like a chain link fence for crying out loud. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway, I would take Tucker over Bregman.
You would?
I would.
Yeah, I would.
I think.
I would. Yeah.
Bregman hasn't been outstanding.
No, he's had
the
a
last
couple
few
of
years.
years where he's
whether he's dealing with injuries or whatever it is, it hasn't been like, God, this guy deserves $30 million a year.
Tucker in the postseason doesn't do what Kyle Tucker does in the regular season.
Are his numbers down in the postseason?
Yeah,
I can't.
Significantly.
Are they? I can't say I remember him disappearing, but I believe it. You know, it's yeah.
Like when it's back to last year, but like him and Altuve combined in the Rangers series, I mean, they were like 0 for 21.
Wow.
Like neither of them, and again this year, Kyle's like we have a mutual friend, so I pay a little more close attention to Kyle, and I can confidently say in the postseason he's just not
he doesn't
regular
quite,
season.
Yeah, it doesn't. So it's not like you have a playoff Corey Seager, right?
Right.
A playoff Corey Seager is an amazing animal.
Yeah, good night.
I mean, he's a great, consistent player anyway. But some of these guys just get that look, that focus, that take it to the next level. And I don't know that there's been very many as good as Corey Seager, who's now won, the MVP of the World Series twice and the MVP of the Championship Series twice. Yeah.
He's just a different breed.
They
don't make him like Corey Seager. I mean, even his brothers aren't on that level, and it's like they were raised the same. Corey Seager's just different. But I will say, for Rangers news, back at Globe Life Field, there are fans waiting for John and Jacqueline Gray's annual toy drive.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so they're wrapping up. Actually, a few beat writers are heading over there. So long day for like Kennedy and Sean. But yeah, John and Jacqueline, they have such a presence in the community, and John and Jacqueline together as a couple are almost always at the community events. Like when the Rangers went to visit the hospital, Jacqueline was with John. So, she's super supportive of everything that, they kind of do together.
Yeah.
And I know the Rangers love his contribution. But I've been to this event. It's really, really special. And they have such a good heart. So
back when the B Word was a network, I did a couple of promos. I think 2 years in a row. They were the spokespeople for the Rangers, and then we did one for us, and some of the local TVs did the same thing. But anyway, I was just looking at this, going, I'm pretty sure one year I wore this sweater. It's my Christmas sweater.
Yeah, it would be perfect.
It's my Christmas sweater. I don't
Did
wear
you
red
wear
a
that
lot.
Because Jeff said it was really cold?
2 reasons. That, and I'm going to a Christmas party after work.
Well, John did experience the cold.
I did.
He concurs.
Yeah, I had to get
Where
out
you
of there.
sat in the back, though, is way colder.
It was cold throughout.
Okay.
Why, you thought it was warmer in the front?
Yeah.
You can't toss us a bone and tell us to come up front. Good God, we're back there freezing.
I didn't spend as much time in the war room.
Yeah, it was cold.
That one did.
Yeah. Well,
he's got a little sniffle over here.
It's contributed to an illness, I believe. Yeah. I get sick at every winter
Jeff
meeting.
is like,
yep.
I hate my life.
I don't hate my life. I just hate the winter meetings.
Yeah. They're easy to hate, but they're also easy to love when the Rangers do what they have done. So, man, it's been a lot of fun for us to cover it for you. Reminder, we still have the interview with Ron Washington. In fact, we intend to play that tomorrow. That is nothing but fun, right? I mean, Boach was fun too, but Wash, he is a special guy, and we're going to be thrilled to bring you that tomorrow. As we said, we also sat down with Nelson Cruz, and it was great to catch up with Nelly. And of course, I referenced him at the very top of the show. You weren't here, Jeff, but I told Abs it's my only burger joke.
Okay.
I said we have the Boomstick, we have Dollar Dog, and now we have the Evo Burger. But I'm not going to make the burger joke every day.
I'd study
like I could.
I'm trying to not make it at all.
Yeah, I know. I went after the low-hanging fruit one time.
Mm-hmm.
One time. That's it. But anyway, of course, the Boomstick is a reference to our friend Nelson Cruz, who was great with us too. So we'll have that content coming for you later, and we'll have lots of memories and lots of things to talk about. And I think we're going to get a chance to meet Berger, at least virtually and have a chance to talk to Nathan Eovaldi later in the week. So all that is coming up on future editions of the DLLS Rangers podcast. We appreciate you joining us today. We appreciate you figuring out what time we've been on all week long, and it was especially fun to have all of you with us last night on the emergency podcast when the Rangers signed Nathan Eovaldi. So thanks for hanging out with us. It's always our pleasure, and we'll see you again tomorrow on another edition.
At 12.
Oh, yeah, it's at noon the next 2 days. Normal time, 12 noon, next 2 days, DLLS Rangers podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.